Tonight, there is new evidence that the party of hate has been lying all along about their impeachment efforts against the president. Newly released court documents show House Judiciary Dems opened an investigation into threats to the rule of law, so-called, by the president and his administration. They did that on March 4th. That's more than a week before Nancy Pelosi told the Washington Post magazine she didn't want to go down the path of impeachment. It's also 5 months before Gerald Nadler told CNN that formal impeachment proceedings were underway. The documents also reveal an impeachment investigation had begun more than 2 weeks before Robert Mueller delivered his report to Attorney General Barr. The radical left didn't care what the Mueller report revealed, obviously. Instead, they allowed their partisan hate and moved to impeach the president by any means necessary, with blatant disregard for any they would hurt in the process. Joining us tonight, Harmeet Dhillon, Vice President of the Republican National Lawyers Association, RNC Committeewoman for California, a member of the 2020 Trump Advisory Council. Harmeet, great to have you with us.
Thank you, Lou.
This is not in any way, I would say, flabbergasting, but it is a clear record of what the radical Dems in the House are all about. They are harassing. They are attempting to impede this president and his administration in any way possible, and have started with, of all things, impeachment.
That's right, Lou. And it also shows that they're totally divorced from any basis in reality, because, as you just pointed out, this effort is now shown to have started 2 weeks before Robert Mueller delivered his report. So before they even knew the punchline, or maybe they suspected the punchline was going to be that it was going to be a big nothing burger, they went ahead with this effort. And there have been various steps along the way, Lou, and they've had legal advice along the way that told them that, for example, it's virtually impossible, and certainly not in these circumstances, likely to be able to get that grand jury testimony they've been seeking. Right. And this is all being done, Lou, in the face of Nancy Pelosi. Anyway. Right. And so they don't care about the law. They don't care about the facts, and they don't care about the integrity of this country, even the leadership of their own party. Nancy Pelosi has been very consistent in shying away from impeachment, and the fact that they're doing this, even in violation of any law, of any vote being taken in Congress, just shows how illegitimate it is. And you know, for one thing, I guess I'm happy that they're not spending their time making bad policy in Congress, but it is, as Nancy Pelosi said, extremely divisive and damaging to the country to do this, and it's really unfortunate that Jerry Nadler is doing it unchecked by his own party.
Well, it's unfortunate. What is the Republican response? Is there a counter strategy on the part of House Republicans, Capitol Hill Republicans in both the House and the Senate?
Well, I saw a statement from Mark Meadows today, I believe, on this, condemning this effort and insisting that there be an openness of sharing of this information that Nadler is trying to hoard in judiciary and intelligence, and make sure that all the members of Congress get a chance to see it. But it's cleverly being done during a recess. People are out back in their districts. I saw a member here in the, the studio that I'm in today. So, the people are not focusing. I think this is kind of a stealth effort to try to get this information with people not able to respond in front of the cameras. It
is appalling, and yet there seems to be this, well, I think, stubborn adherence to the idea that the Democratic Party is the loyal opposition, when in fact, whether it's Jerry Nadler, Adam Schiff, for that matter, Chuck Schumer, they're doing everything they can to undercut this president. This is not, we have never seen the likes of this. And it continues, it goes on, and the Republicans, while they're not all mute, they are all, it seems, neutralized and inert to the point of passivity.
Well, you've heard me say this before, Lou. I think you and I both agree that Republicans, many of our friends who are Republican legislators, are playing by the Marcus of Queensberry rules, where the Democrats are using Uzis. And, it's past time for us to fight back and be vocal and support our president, and more importantly, stand for the rule of law, which is being blatantly shredded by these people.
And your thoughts about what response is available to the Republican Party, to the RNC, to all of the campaign committees of the House and the Senate? There is just seemingly a lifeless quality to them all, while this president leads. And I know that upsets them terribly. that we have, for the first time in decades, a leader in the White House. But that's really what's animating the left, the rhinos even. They can't stand the fact they don't own this guy. They have no way in which to influence him. All of K Street is a waste of money. And this president continues to lead day after day after day and achieve. That's what they really hate, isn't it?
Yeah, well, of course. I think the reason that he is the target of so much virulent and illegitimate opposition is because of his effectiveness. And if he were a more feckless, kind of lame Republican of the type that we've seen run for president before or even hold the White House, none of them got this type of opposition because they were frankly not perceived as a threat to the very way of life of both parties and their establishment in Washington. And so I think that's what's going on here. But it's up to all of us Republicans, and certainly, the RNC is standing very firmly behind the president. I would love to see other members step up and condemn their colleagues for setting aside the content, just the abuse of process of the courts and of the Congress in illegitimately using their process as a way to drag people through the mud, harass them. Don McGahn is now being, subject to subpoenas and testimony and stuff. And it's all illegitimate, and it's all against established precedent, Lou.
Well, it's against established precedent, but it is most of all against this president. So many of the gutless Republicans don't have either the principle or the courage to stand up for him. It is a sorry scene indeed to witness. Harmeet, you are a bright exception to all of that, and we appreciate always having the opportunity to talk with you. Harmeet, Dhillon, thanks so much.